Welcome to today's webinar. Today we will show you features and options in your Dlubal account. My name is Andreas Hörold. I'm responsible for marketing and public relations in the company Dlubal Software. For instance, the German and English webinars, technical content of the website, customer projects, and so on. I will be the moderator today and I will answer your questions during the webinar. Lukas Sühnel, my colleague, he will be the presenter. He's responsible for the development of RFEM, especially for the development of the interfaces from RFEM and RSTAR to other programs. And he works also in the customer support team. Then I say something how you can ask questions. At first, I switch off my camera that you can see the full screen. And just press the button with the question mark, enter your question in that field, press send, and I will receive your question and I will answer you. Okay, that's for the moment all from my side. I hand over to Lukas. Lukas, you can start.
Andreas, thank you for the introduction. I will continue with the content. In the beginning, I want to explain the main reason why you need a Dlubal account. Afterwards, I will show you further options for users. And in the last chapter, I will explain additional features for company admins. So let's start directly. Why do you need a Dlubal account? It's the main question. And it's quite simple. You need it to use RFEM 6, RSTAR 9, so basically our new software solution. Why is that so? Well, with RFEM 6, RSTAR 9, our section, and so on, we changed the licensing system. We are now using online licenses. That means online licenses means you need access to the internet, and it's, let's say, relatively simple setup. On our side, there is a license server. On that license server, we are saving information about the companies, the users of these companies, and which licenses they have bought, basically. If you type in your login credentials, the license server will know who you are, and he will give you access to the licenses of your company. This is what I'm going to show now. I have RFEM 6 up and running here, currently in the demo modus. And now I want to log in into my account. This is a fake account here I just created for the webinar, lucasschneider@solutions.com, and I will type in my password. And now I have access to the license manager on the top right side. And as we can see here, this company has 2 licenses, a steel design license with RFEM 6 on it, torsional warping, stress strain analysis, steel design and steel joints, as well as our section, and a second license, which is a mixture between concrete and steel design add-ons. It's quite easy to select a license or to choose a license. You simply select it here in the drop-down list, press OK, and you have that license. You can easily switch around by just selecting another one, and then you have another one. Obviously, this is only possible if the license is free. That means nobody is using it. If somebody is using it, it will be mentioned here, as it's the case for my account. Yeah, you can see license 1 is used by Lukas Schneider, and so we can't pick that. But at least you know who's using the license. And you can contact him and ask if you can use it for a moment, for example. So what else? If you select a license, it will be assigned to you for the next 24 hours. So if you select a license, you press OK, and for some reason the internet crashes, you can still continue using RFEM 6 for the next 24 hours. That is one option. If you close RFEM 6, so basically if you click here log out, or you close RFEM 6 with the red X, then the license will be given back to the license server and somebody else can take it. There's another scenario. Let's imagine you're on the construction site. For some reason, there's a bad internet connection and you want to borrow a license for a longer period of time. Then you can do that as well. You can click on the calendar here, this calendar icon. You can select, I think, up to 30 days, or you can borrow it up to 30 days. You just click on the date, you press OK, and then this license is, let's say, locally saved on your PC for the next days, basically. The license will be given back to the license server automatically after that period of time. Or if you want to give it back earlier, you have to hit that little icon here. There is, by the way, no way for us or the company admins to give this license back. So if you're borrowing it and you're not giving it back, and let's say somebody else wants to use it, he can't. It is fully up to the user who borrowed it to give the license back. Yeah, if you have issues with that, you can try to contact our support, but in general, you can imagine if a PC borrowed a license, then he's going offline. There is simply no way to give this license back to the license pool. Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically how you, or let's say most of the users, use their Dlubal account, and it's okay, of course. Anyhow, today I want to show you additional options of this Dlubal account. And how do you get access to your Dlubal account? Well, there are two ways. One would be the Dlubal Center. So if you open the Dlubal Center, on the top left side, you have your an icon called Extranet, My Account. And this is basically your Dlubal account with a lot of features like tabs on the top. Oh, wrong language. I will change that in a second. And also on the left-hand side. The way I want to show you the account is, however, via the web. So I will switch to my Internet Explorer, and I am on the Dlubal website here, dlubal.com. By the way, in English, sorry for that. And I can log into my account via this little icon here. I just pick my login credentials, email, and my password, and I log in. And you can see it looks similar to what I showed you in the Dlubal Center. We have a couple of tabs here, which we will go through in this webinar, and in each tab we have also some chapters on the left-hand side. The first one is My Messages. Well, it's an extranet messages, so this is basically 100% only messages about new versions. So whenever we release a new version, you will get a little message here. So far, so okay. Received newsletters. Well, it's quite empty because this is a fake account. I created only for the webinar. There are not many newsletters assigned to this account. But if we would go into another account, for example, my personal account, and I go here into received newsletters, then you can see a longer list. You can change the pages or increase the amount of items per page. I think this is easy to understand. And then if you are interested in a specific newsletter, you can simply open it via this link at the end. So yeah, that's a little bit of pity because I'm a German user, so it's showing up in German language. Anyhow, get the latest news about Dlubal. One topic is, for example, our new Dlubal community. It's like a forum where users can ask questions, where users can interact, and we are, of course, also active there. This newsletter gives you information about new features, new videos, customer examples, latest webinars, and also like the next events where we will participate. That is basically all I want to show about my messages. So I go back into this fake account now, because now I want to show my data. And yeah, this is my user data. So basically here a user can change his contact details and I don't know, phone, email salutation, whatever you want, you can change it here. You can change your password here, of course. Yeah, that is maybe an important thing. Let's say you get a new account from your company admin and you want to use your own password. That is where you can change it. There are more settings which are grayed out for the user, and it's something that the admins can modify, and I will talk about that in the chapter where I explain the admin features. What else do we have here? We have the API keys here. What is an API key? So basically, there is an API for Dlubal, like a programmable interface. So where you can use, I don't know, Visual Studio Code or any other tool like that to create your little code, and you can write data into Orpheum via this external code, or you can read information out of Orpheum with your own code, and to get access to Orpheum, you need an API key. You can create your own API key here. Every user can do that. And there's also the possibility to create multiple API keys, as you can see here, project 1, project 2. That is good for, let's say, if you are having different projects where you are using the API, and you maybe are interested in statistics, so how many requests, this is basically the unit that we're using, how many requests you used for project 1 or project 2. You later in the API and Cloud tab, you get statistics about that. And since the API is also linked to costs at some point, this could be an interesting feature, because depending on your project, you can calculate the costs that you had using the Dlubal API and then maybe forward these costs to somebody else. Concerning the API, I can also show you a little page. So, yeah, English, solutions, actually products, and here we have the Dlubal API. Yeah, so there's also a nice additional page where you get all the informations about the API. Don't want to go into too much in detail here, but on this page you will also find basically predefined examples that you can easily copy paste into the Orpheum script manager or something like that to get your first hands on the API. Yeah. And what I actually wanted to show is these are the different API subscriptions. So for each company has 1,000 API requests per month, basically free. And whenever you are above this limit, you need some kind of subscription. And that's why I said, if it starts to cost money, you may want to track the costs, and you can do that by using different API keys for your different projects. Yeah, that's the whole reason we have that. Yes, so far regarding that. On the bottom, we also have such a hash code. This is related to a different solution that we offer. We also have on our website these snow load, wind speed, and seismic load zone maps. In case you haven't seen them, it's basically, yeah, here now for the United Kingdom, but we have it for many countries over the whole world, also the US. Guess it's still loading. Yeah. So, and this snow zone, wind zone, seismic zone map simply gives you the snow load, ground snow load, for example, depending where you are located. So you can click on this map, you can zoom in and so on, and select your building location, and it will give you, in that case, the ground snow load. It is also possible to use these maps via an API. Yeah, so you don't have to do that manually. You can also do it via an API, and this hash code is something you need for that. So there are frequently asked questions about how to use the API for these load zone maps. And one information is that you need the hash code, and you can find it here. Yes, so far regarding my data and my user data. There's another chapter called My Online Courses. I don't have any here, but we are offering different online courses where you can get additional knowledge about the steel design, timber design, concrete design, I think seismic design as well, and of course basic RFIM 6. And if you participated on one of these trainings, then they will show up in here. Yeah, so far regarding the second tab, My Data, let's continue and jump directly into the company. And these are now mostly just informations for the user, nothing he can do. So the company name, email, and so on. Yeah, just information for the user. Only the admin can change something here. You have also access to the service contracts. So in case this company would have any basic or pro service contract for any of the add-ons or programs, it would be displayed here. It could be a helpful information for users in case your company has a pro service contract for RFIM or RSUB or R section. That means you are allowed to call our support. If it's only a basic service contract, emails should be used for the communication. Same API for the API subscriptions. I showed it before, yeah, with the API and the subscriptions. In case you have one, it will be displayed here. Yeah. But it's all just informational for the user, nothing he can change. Concerning the licenses, the first chapter shows you all the licenses your company has. So as I showed it before, inside of RFIM 6, here it is in one table, and it's maybe easier to understand. Yeah, we have 2 licenses, and you can see for each license which add-on is assigned to it. Of course, you get this information also inside of RFIM 6, but then you have to switch between the licenses to see what you have. So this is easier to understand here. Licenses itself, nothing too specific for the user here. You can see again the different licenses that are currently borrowed. In my case, you can see here license 01 is borrowed by myself, by this Lucas Schneider. But again, you get this information as a user if you are logged into RFIM. Yeah, you can see who is using which license, so you don't have to use the Dlubal account for that. Okay. Authorization files for download, RFIM 5, RSTOP 8, and so on. So in case your company also had Dlubal licenses for the old product generations, the licensing worked a little different. You needed authorization files for these hard locks and soft locks, and you can download them here, basically. That's a download link. Yeah, I guess nothing more to say about that. License sessions, it simply shows the current session here again, and authorizations. That is, again, a list of add-ons and programs that your company has, but yeah, it doesn't really help for regular users. Okay, products to download. I think this is also easy to understand in the beginning. So here you will find the download links for your recent versions. There, it's divided into new generation, R20. So here we have the download link for the latest rFIM6, rStop9, rSection, and rWind version. Yeah, just click on the link and the download will start. If you are interested in the current rFIM5, rStop8, and so on, download link, so from the old generation, click into the R19 tab here, and you have the download links to the latest versions for rFIM5, rStop8, and so on. If you are looking for an older version, you can go into the next chapter, older versions to download. Again, divided between the new generation rFIM6 and the old generation R19. So for the new generation, you can find the latest version for each main version. So we have these different version numbers, 601, 602, 603. This is usually a bigger jump. And then for each of these main versions, we have additional subversions, let's call them that way. And here in the download list, you will always find the latest version of this main version. Yes, so far regarding that, and also regarding the old generation. The remaining tables are again just, let's say, information-wise interesting. You can see all the products that we offer for the new generation and the old generation. You can see the prices. But honestly, in case of prices, I would basically contact the sales team here of Dlubal. For the user, I guess it's not so interesting. This information can also be found on the web shop on our website. So yeah, just some lists with information. All right. So far regarding products to download. Now let's go into the development tab, which is a bit more interactive. And the development tab is divided into features, bugs, and update reports. So it's mostly about update reports and feature wishes, as you will see in a second. So the first one is the features list. And you can see here implemented features for rFIM6, rStop9, and so on. So these are basically the update reports for the new generation. rFIM6, rStop9, and so on. Now let me try to change something. Preferred language, sorry for that. Save. I hope it will this. It is English. Yeah. Probably because no, it's English now. That's good. Okay. So you can see here the update reports for rFIM6, and you can see them for various versions. So the first column here is the version number, and then also, let's say, the name of the update report as a subject, and some additional filters. Let me explain it a bit, how you can handle these tables. So if you are interested in a specific version, you can use this drop-down function, and you can say load values, for example. Then it will load all version values, and you can select the version you're interested in. So update reports, of course, for each version, and then only those reports will be shown. If you click on this little reset filter, you're back to the full list. If you're looking for a specific topic, maybe via a name, then you can use the subject here. You can either say search, again, drop down and search, or you just double click on it, doesn't matter. And if you type in, for example, wind, all update reports that have wind in the subject name will be shown. You can combine it with additional filters. So if you're interested in a wind specific update report from a specific version, you can also select that. There are additional columns, for example, add-on product and product area. This is like a higher ranked, or this is in the hierarchy higher. So here you have the list of add-ons, for example, steel design. And then the steel design is again divided into the different design chapters or product areas based for the Eurocode, NTC, for the American standard, and so on. So you can also select a specific code here, for example, and then you can see all the AISC related update reports. So this is how these tables work. And ideally, if you scroll a bit lower, if you click on something and you scroll lower, you can also see some pictures that usually describe the feature, in this case, a bit better. So these are the update reports feature-wise for the new version. You can also submit a new feature request. So we have a little form here, and if you have a nice idea which we should think about, then feel free to use this form. Type in your subject, the main product. I think it's clear, an add-on product, so it's easier to understand for us what you refer to, and a good description. So the better the description, the easier it is for us to understand the wish. And even better would be if you upload images or files. Yes. So you can use this form to communicate these feature requests. Alternatively, you can, of course, use an email or a phone call to do that. But the benefit from that feature request is that it will end up in a list if you want. It will end up in a public list. If you don't want to have it public, you can select this icon down here. And then you can see this list here. So this is the current feature list with, 1,260 requested features from users. And your wish will also show up here if you want. And the good thing is that you can follow the status of your feature wish via this table. Either the public global table or your personal feature table, but since this account didn't create one, there's nothing to see here. So let's use the global list. And so these are all the publicly wished feature wishes in different languages, French, German, English, whatever you prefer. And we have different statuses for them. The first status is submitted. This simply means, it was submitted to us and nobody from our side looked at it so far. Another status, or the next status in line, would be user story created, for example. That means your feature is interesting for us. It fits to our logic, let's say. And we can think of implementing that in future. So we create another feature request on our side, and we link it to your feature request. So user story created means we like the idea. If it will ever come into the software, we don't know, but we will document it also on our development related side. If the feature has a lot of similar, or if this feature was requested by many other users, or we think it is really a valuable implementation, we will of course tackle this this request, and we will create to-dos. So when we create to-dos, it means the programmers will be informed what they have to do, and we do that by creating so-called to-dos. And if this feature has the status, we will also assign it here. So to-do created means we will work on your feature in the near future, most likely. Then it will switch into progress once this work started. And if it was built in, we have a similar status for that. It could be that you are requesting also features that already exist. Well, then we will assign this status here. Or in case your requested feature is actually a bug, can happen, then we will use bug created. These are the main statuses. It could also be that your feature will be cancelled. It can have different reasons. Maybe the logic you request is simply not fitting to our software, or there was already a decision against such a feature, then we will of course set it also to cancelled. Please don't take it personally. We just try to keep it clean as possible, and of course we want to be honest here as well. All right, so that is how you can, or that is a way where you can submit your own feature requests. Now that is all about the features. We have a different chapter for bugs, and it starts with the same list. So these are the fixed bugs depending on the version. So it's also like, it's basically also related to the update reports, but this here is about the bugs. The other one was about the new features, with the same logic, with the same filters and so on. Then what you can do here is you can also have a look at all the submitted bug reports from users. So we have a similar feature like for the features, but this time for the bugs. You can create your own bug report, and it will also be listed here on these public lists if you want. I have no own submitted bug reports, but I can do it with this little form here, with the same logic. Maybe an information I forgot to mention for the features, but it's the same for the bugs. In case you decide not to hide your bug or feature report, then we will show the description, we will show the subject, and we will show the images that you assigned to this here. So whatever you assign to images, we will display. The files that you assign will not be displayed. So we can have a look again here, for example, at the features, or from all users. We show the first 3 images that you assigned, but no files. So files won't be, are not available to the public. So maybe that's also important to share. And concerning the statuses, well, this is similar to the features. Okay, and the last chapter here is the update report for the outdated products, basically for the old generation, RFIM 5, RSTOP 8, but also much older. You can find these reports down here. So if you're interested in the update reports for RFIM 53801, then this is where you can find them. And with the filters, again, you can go back to basically the beginning of RFIM, where it was based, where it was like DOS based in the command line environment, and we have all the update reports here from each version. Okay, so far regarding the development. And now let's switch to the GeoZone tool. I showed it before, these load zone maps. This tab here will simply show you where you clicked. It's like a history of your clicks, and that's all basically. Let's switch to the last chapter, API and cloud. It's divided again into cloud calculations, API 2, and the billing. Concerning cloud calculations, I haven't mentioned that before, but you are able to run a calculation in the cloud. So let me create a new file here in RFIM really quickly. So doesn't matter, just want to show the icon. So imagine you have a really big structure, and this is usually what you would use it for. You have a big structure in RFIM and you want to calculate it. You can do it locally on your PC, or you can send this file into a cloud, and then it will be calculated on a server basically. If you decide to use a cloud, then you can select the PC here. We have different options related to the amount of cores, the working memory, and so on. And you can also see how many credits per minute it would cost. So to use this feature, you need credits. And you can buy these credits on our web shop, or if you contact the sales. Yeah, this is how it's working in general. Why would you use such a cloud calculation? Well, if you have a really bad PC, then this could be an option to increase the calculation time. That's one option. Or if you say, well, actually my PC is good, but while the calculation is ongoing, because it takes, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours or whatsoever, my PC will be usually quite slow if I do it locally. But I can still work on something else while the calculation is ongoing. Then you could say, okay, I send the calculation into the cloud. I have my full PC power for another project, and you continue working locally. Yeah, so that could be another way why you would use such a calculation in the cloud. And if you did such a calculation, you can see it in the Dlubal account here. Yeah, cloud calculations. You can see the current status of it. In my case, it was already completed successfully a couple of days ago. But if you have a calculation ongoing, then you can always see here the current status of it, if it is in progress or whatsoever. And you can also find the file here. So yeah, you send it into the cloud. It will be calculated there. It will be basically saved there. And here you have then the download link to download this calculated file. Yeah. Okay. Wait, is this my? Yeah, this is a user's login. Then cloud calculations company. So in case somebody else from your company would do a cloud calculation, you would also see it here. So let's say your colleague run this calculation and you need now the results, then you can also download it from this list here. Virtual machine sizes. Well, this is again an information about different machines that you can choose from, the credits and so on. Now concerning the API, I mentioned in the beginning under, I think it was my data, that you can create multiple API keys. And you can see those keys here again. Yeah, let's say one key for each project. And under, I think, API sessions my, yes, you can also see how many requests were used by the specific key. So project 1 needed 27 requests, project 2 9 requests, let's say. Yeah. So this table you could basically export and then do your billing based on that. Yeah? And to export this table, you can hover your mouse over this little header and you will find this icon here, export data. And then you can export it into Excel, for example. And yeah, then you can use all the Excel tools that you know, sorting and so on, to create your little calculation and billing sheet. Okay. Yes, so that is maybe also an interesting feature for you. Okay. You can also see which API requests you used for that. Yeah, API requests my. This is overall a general list of API requests that you used. Yeah, this is, but basically API sessions my, this is the most important table here. And concerning the billing, you have an overview about the credits, and those are the credits for the cloud calculation. So this company here had 100 credits available for cloud calculations, and it used 2.7 credits. So this is what's remaining basically. Yeah. These are the features a regular user has access to. And now I also want to show, let's say, the additional features an admin has access to. To show that, I will log into my admin account. Where is it actually? Oh, I will just log out here. Log out. and I'm using now musterman@solutions.com. That's the admin for this fake company. I will log in, and what can an admin do on top of that? The admin has, first of all, access to the company settings and so on, which is one thing, but he also can change. Sorry, I wasn't the wrong tab. He can also create accounts for users. So if he is in the company tab under users, he can create new users, which is probably important for an admin, because let's say you have a new colleague in your company and this new colleague should use Dlubal Software. This admin has control over the account. He can create a new user, and he can also, and I will show that in a second, change what the user has access to. So first of all, there's like an overview table that we can see here. Max Musterman is the admin. He has access to everything. And his two users, Lucas and Sophie, they, for example, have access to the API and also to the cloud, but they have no access to the old API, the SOAP-based API. So we have two APIs, SOAP-based and gRPC-based. These two users, for some reason, have no access to the SOAP-based API, which is not good, because the Revit link, the Tekla link, and the Rhino Grasshopper link are based on this API. So these two users basically would not be able to use the Revit, Tekla, and Rhino Grasshopper link. So the admin could go into these accounts and enable those web service SOAP for these users. So that's what the admin can do. He has control over the user settings. So let's have a look again at one of those users to have a, let's say, a bit more detailed explanation about the options. The admin can decide if the user can log in into the extranet or not. So what we did here, basically, this overview, this can be controlled via this check here. The admin can define if a user has access to our programs. Maybe this user should not be allowed to use the Dlubal licenses. Then you can remove the access to the licenses via this check here. The admin can also assign other users as admins. So each company can have multiple admins. And this is the check to control that. He can also define from which IP address the users can, or the users are allowed to log in to RFIM 6. So maybe you want to define that only users that are in the office building have access to our programs. Then you can enter here the IP address or the range, and how you can do that. This is given here on the right hand side. Here are some examples. How to do that. The admin can also assign a specific license to a user. So let's say a user has a high priority project and he has, let's say, a specific license for that, and he doesn't want to fight every morning with other users about this license. Then the admin can assign a specific license to this user. So only this user can then use the license 1 or 2, for example, here. You can also think the other way around. The admin can refuse or not allow the use of a specific license for users. So he can say, this user here, I think I'm in the Lucas profile. Lucas Schneider should never use license 01 for some reason. This is how you can do it. Just double click here, and this user has no access to license 1. Okay. The admin can remove or delete the account by removing this check here and saving. Then the account is gone. So be careful with that one here. and he has access to these 3 checks. I explained them briefly before. The admin can control if the user has access to the SOAP API, the gRPC API, or the calculation. Cloud calculation, yeah, imagine you have like 100 credits because you have a specific user who should test the cloud calculation, and you additionally have a couple of students or so which are also working in your company, and you don't want them to play around with the cloud calculation. Then you can, for example, remove the access to the cloud calculation as an admin from these users. So this is what an admin can do. An admin can also, adding users, I already mentioned. What can the admin also do? Yeah, he has access to vouchers, for example. So imagine, or no, not imagine, in some instances, at least in the past, we had like vouchers. If you did something, you were able to get a voucher or something like that, and you can use these vouchers when you buy the software. So here you can see these vouchers, and you can probably use them when you purchase something else. So admins can see these vouchers here. Then licenses. This is again another interesting topic. The admins have the right to move licenses around, or the add-ons on the licenses around. So as you know, we have these 2 licenses here for this company, and license 2 is a mixed license. Yeah, we have RFIM 6 on it. We have concrete design, steel design, concrete foundations. Imagine this user now wants to design also the steel joints, yeah, in his mixed concrete steel project. Currently, with this setup here, you would have to use license 2 for all concrete design related calculations, and if he wants to run a steel joint analysis, he would have to switch to license 1 and then back and forth. So that's not ideal. So an admin can change the add-ons, or he can move them around from license 1 to 2 or 2 to 1 in this case. Before he is able to do that, he must make sure that there is no current license session active. So we can't, or the admin can't move the licenses around if there's an active session or active user who's using the licenses. So I will simply log out here, close RFIM, ideally. Now this license session should disappear, right? And now the admin can do that. And he can do it the following way. He goes into licenses, again, licenses, authorization by license. And here he will find both licenses, license 1 and license 2. Yeah? In license 2, he has these concrete, steel, concrete foundation. So license 2 should now also, so license 2 should get access to the steel joint analysis, or design, which is on license 1. So I go into license 1. Here's the steel joint design add-on, and I simply changed it from license 1 to license 2. That's all. If I update this list now, or if I go to license products, I can see, steel joints. I think I forgot to save it. Sorry, one more time. I'm not doing this every day. No, actually, it's gone from license 1, license 2. Yeah, it's steel joints is now on this license 2. So let me see again. Maybe this takes a moment to update. But we can definitely see in authorizations by license, if we go into license number 2, steel joints is here. Now, well, let's simply log into RFIM 6 to test that. Yeah, now it's also gone, switched in this little overview here. Okay, little delay until this little table updates, but you can see steel joints is now part of license 2. So yeah, this is done, and now the user can use license 2 to do all the calculation in one step without switching between licenses, which is quite a nice feature in my opinion. Yes, what else? License sessions. The admin has access to a list of license sessions. So also from the past, he can see when a user used the software, how long did he use it, could be used to also, let's say, do some billings, yeah, track the costs or the usage of the software, and then maybe calculate some costs for other companies also. Yes, this is also something the admin can see. And yeah, this is mainly it. Some more statistics in the GeoZone tool, so he can also see all clicks from the company, not just, so the user can only see his own clicks, the admin can see all the clicks that were done by all the users in the company. Okay, and concerning the API, he can also see all the requests from the whole company. Yeah, so API sessions company, not just like as before, the user sees his own IPE request, the admin sees all IPE requests from all API keys over the whole company, and then he can again do this Excel export and yeah, use it for whatever reason. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, these are the main functions the admin has. I think most interesting is creating new accounts, modifying the rights for accounts, and also switching add-ins within the licenses. I think this is the most interesting part here. Yeah, and this would be all from my side. Thanks for your attention, and I will hand it back to Andreas.
Thank you, Lukas, for a nice presentation. I have an additional hint for you. Yeah, you can book our online courses. For example, the AFEM 6 course. That's a course for beginners. The Eurocode 2 course for the reinforced concrete design with AFEM 6. The Eurocode 3 course for the steel design. The Eurocode 5 course for the timber design, and the Eurocode 8 course for the earthquake design. For more information and prices, just scan the QR codes or click at the buttons here. You can download the slides from the same website where you will find the recording. In the next days, you will get an email with a link to that page. You can get such a course, such an online course for free when you publish a customer project on our website. Just scan the QR code or press that link. There's a form on our website where you can enter the information and data. You can also write an email to info@dlubal.com to my hands, Mr. Herold, and I will write you what I need for data. It's not much work for you. Okay, then our free online services, for example, the Dlubal community. You can, for example, ask questions there, and you will get an answer from our team or from our users. Then the GeoZone tool for the determination of wind, snow, and earthquake loads. Then the cross-section properties, the 3D models to download. You can use them as template for your project. If you don't have already our programs, just download the 90-day trial version. AFEM and RSTAB contain all add-ons. And you can also download our Wind and our section. More information can you find on our website, dlubal.com. For example, the events, knowledge base articles. You can ask Mia, our AI assistant, all the time, 24/7, and she will answer you. Okay, that's also all from my side. I thank you for your attention. Lukas, thanks again for your presentation. I wish you all a nice rest of the day. Maybe we meet each other in a future webinar. See you. Bye-bye.